Hello everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Canals Report, the CS news show you'll be able to tell everyone you knew about before it was cool. Coming up this episode, some more important roster moves, Pronax announces his retirement, and some brief tournament recaps, including DreamHack Masters Dallas. Starladder has slightly adjusted the schedule for their upcoming major in conjunction with releasing information about ticket sales. The Challengers stage of the major has been reduced to 4 days from 6, while the Legends stage has been reduced to 5 days from 6. Starladder told HLTV upon being contacted about the change that this represents, quote, the first step towards reducing the footprint of CSGO majors on the global event schedule. Liquid and ENCE are the first two announced invites to IEM Chicago, which is coming up this July. IEM Chicago is set to feature just 8 teams with 6 invites and 2 qualifier spots, and will be following an NA versus EU theme. IEM Chicago is another addition to an already busy schedule for Liquid before the summer break, so event fatigue could possibly end up playing into an upset against the American team during the tournament. But then again, who would turn down an invite to a $250,000 event? Capping off a series of rumors from the past few weeks, NaVi and Winstrike have finalized a trade that will send one of NaVi's veterans, Edward, over to Winstrike on loan in exchange for Boomich. Edward had been with NaVi since 2009, barring a short stint in 2013 where he played for a different team, and during that time he'd won titles and played in a huge number of majors with his now former team, NaVi. On the Winstrike side of things, Boomich was Winstrike's IGL, so while both teams are only changing out a single player, it will undoubtedly be a pretty huge change for everyone involved. Winstrike could certainly use Edward's experience to help them reach the top levels of CS, and Boomich is something of a rising star, who NaVi likely hopes will revitalize their squad after their recent period of subpar performances. Pronax has announced his retirement from competitive CS on Twitter, effective immediately. While he has yet to give full details about why he's stepping away from the scene, he said he's moving on to, quote, something bigger than himself, and that he'll release a full statement soon. Pronax's retirement marks the end of an 11-year competitive career in CS, where he competed at the top level in 1.6 and won an astonishing 3 major titles alongside Fnatic. While he hasn't put up quite the same results in recent years with other teams and in other projects, it is nearly impossible to tarnish a legacy that includes 3 major titles, and we wish him the best of luck in whatever it is he turns out to be doing in the future. Complexity recently completed a change that sees Stanislaw stepping down from their roster to make way for Obo, a 15-year-old North American player with solid experience on some mid-level teams and who is widely regarded as one of the players with the most promise in the NA scene. In a short statement from Stanislaw on Twitter, he explained that he felt like he was no longer the person to lead the team forward, but that he would always be proud of their placement in the London Major. Obo is being given a chance to prove himself on the world stage, so be sure to watch for his debut with the team in the ECS Season 7 Finals coming up this Thursday. Moving on to some brief tournament recaps, Mousesports took down Valiance in the finals of the DreamHack Open Tours in a 2-0 on Train and Mirage. Valiance had beaten Mousesports earlier in the tournament in a best-of-1 on Dust 2, but the new Carrigan-helmed roster was unfazed and beat Wendigo and Avangar on their way to their rematch with Valiance in Grands. This marks Mousesports' first LAN victory since making major changes to their roster back in March. CSGO's 4th Summit recently ended in a surprising upset, with Vitality taking down Liquid in Grands to secure the trophy. Vitality was by no means the favorite to win going into Summit, considering that Liquid and ENCE were both attending, but the French roster upset both of the favorites during playoffs, including a 2-0 over the team now ranked number 1 in the world. Summit's round-robin stage was certainly an unusual format, but neither Liquid nor ENCE could blame anything but themselves for losing to Vitality during playoffs, which were held in a traditional best-of-3 format. Vitality has been slowly creeping up the world team rankings for over a year now, but they'll need to continue to prove themselves if they want to stay at the top moving forward. DreamHack Masters Dallas just ended, and the results are mostly what you might expect, barring an absolutely standout performance from Furia. Not only did they make the playoffs over teams like NRG, Renegades, and NIP, but they also 2-0'd Vitality in the middle of some of their best performances in years in the first round of playoffs, and took a map off of ENCE, who have also been performing spectacularly as of late. Not just that, but Furia's only map losses in the entire tournament were to Liquid and ENCE, 2 of the world's top teams in the eventual 1st and 2nd place. Over on the other side of the playoff bracket, FaZe took down G2 in another 2-0 that would be relatively unremarkable had the second map, Dust 2, not taken 48 rounds and 3 overtimes to decide. Dust 2 was also the source of what has to be my highlight of the tournament. A 2 HP Guardian AWP ace on B made possible by a clutch smoke and some great patience.
Guardian's in trouble though. Down to 2 HP, will drop the smoke, trying to back him up. There's Olaf Meister, but looks like Guardian might be done for here. Shots being exchanged, and just one bullet touching Guardian will take him down. Can he stay alive? I don't think he can.
Guardian, quick flash. Goes high above double, able to try and swing it around, but Jax is waiting. Platform, but Guardian knew where he was the whole time, just had to buy some space behind the flash and smoke, and he has done that in spades. Divine lucky as well, couldn't quite close on his 5th and the ace, but he'll go back and find shots in the end.
With 2 HP.
While G2 did end up getting 2-0'd, they have still been on a return to form after a disappointing 2018, and making top 6 in an event like this is definitely a good result. Furia did end up falling to Liquid in the semis, but they did make Nuke close. They simply weren't able to shut down Elige though, and the tournament MVP made a series of plays that were too much for Furia to come back from, like this insane 1v4 clutch in round 11.
It'll be Elige to try and fight them 1 versus 4, and he's got the first kill. The bomb is right there, so that's right, the only thing going for him. One more headshot. They're going to try and double. Oh, God! Elige winning the round. A 1 versus 4 clutch.
ENCE beat FaZe in the other semi-final in a 2-0, though admittedly a relatively close 2-0, including an overtime on Dust 2, and that left Liquid and ENCE in grands. Liquid took Mirage thanks to an overwhelming second half on their CT side, but ENCE played their hearts out on Overpass, where an incredibly patient play from Sergey would eventually prove instrumental in securing overtime for ENCE.
Hits on both Liquid players, but Sergey is waiting. He's gonna wait and walk. He wants to deny the defuse. He spots it, he sees it, headshot on the first, runs it down, knows he's inside the smoke, gets the AK, sprays it, and he does everything perfectly, absolutely perfectly to give ENCE 14.
That is one world-class play.
ENCE went on to win Overpass in overtime, but they couldn't quite repeat their performance on Inferno, and Liquid ended the tournament on top, securing their world #1 spot on the updated HLTV rankings and winning a cool $100,000 to boot. That's all we've got for this episode, but be sure to check back for more CS news and tournament coverage in the future. You can of course follow us on Twitter at Canals Report, subscribe to us here so you never miss an episode, and if you really like us, maybe share us with a friend. For now, though, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.